Welcome to the video tutorial session on biometric system. What we want to build is a simple biometric system which we can provide two specific images, and the system is able to tell us whether the pictures are the same person or they are different people. I will split up the session into several parts. The first session, which is this current one, we are going to work on setting up our folders, our virtual environment, and installing the packages that we need for our study. So I will just go into my documents folder. In the documents folder, I have a folder in here called biometric systems. So inside biometric systems, I just right click in here, then I open terminal in this particular folder. Now remember, I'm using Windows, so some of the commands that I write here, if you try to write them in a Linux system, it is not going to work. The first thing that we are going to do is to create our virtual environment. We are saying that we don't want a system whereby our packages that we install will affect our core operating system. So we want a small box, and inside that box we want to install everything that we need for our application to work in there, and at the end of the day what we install in there will not affect our core operating system. So it's more of virtualization. So what we are saying is we want to create a virtual environment in which we are going to install our packages. Now if you remember our discussion in class, we said we are going to use Python, and we are going to use the Django framework, which is used in Python. So in Python, to create a virtual environment, you just need to call your Python environment -m venv, then the name you want to give to your virtual environment. Let's call it my env, which is the popular name given to the virtual environment anyway, but you can name it any name of your choice. Once that is done, you hit enter. Just hold on for some minutes. The virtual environment will be created for you. Okay, that is done. Our virtual environment has been created. So we can list the contents of this particular folder that we are in, which is biometric system. Once we list the contents, you can see that my env is now part of our folder. So we have a folder in the biometric system folder called my env. That is where our virtual environment is. Now once you create the virtual environment, the environment is sitting idle. You need to activate the environment for it to work. So to do that on Windows, you just call your folder, which is my env /scripts, and inside scripts there is a file called activate. So you just hit enter. Now when I hit enter, you could tell that my env has turned into green on the left side of our folder structure. So it means that our virtual environment has been activated. Once our virtual environment has been activated, we need to install the packages that we need for this particular system to work. So the first one that we need is the Django framework, and there is a package manager in Python which is called pip. So we call pip install Django, then you hit enter. I'm currently not connected to the internet, that is why we are getting this error. So let me connect to the internet and let's try to install Django again. Okay, so let's run again, pip install Django. You hit enter. Now it has downloaded the packages, it is installing it for us. So we are installing Django in our virtual environment. Once we are done installing Django, we can go ahead and install the numpy. So we also run pip install numpy, I'm doing it as step by step so that we all don't get confused, but you can install everything in one line. So you run pip install numpy, it will also download it, then install the collected packages. The collected packages includes the numpy. Now once numpy is done installing, the next thing that we need to do is to install Pillow, which is a package in Python which allows us to play with images. So you run pip install Pillow, then you hit enter. Once you hit enter and you are connected to the internet, it will also download and install that. The next thing that we need to install, which is the package called face recognition. So you run pip install face underscore recognition, then you hit enter. Once you do that, it will download that as well and install that for us. Since we have now been able to create our folder, open our folder in PowerShell, install Django and all the other packages that we need for the system to work, we can now open this particular folder, which is the biometric system folder, in VS Code. So to open it in VS Code, you just type code space dot, then you hit enter. Once that is done, we get to see our folder opened in VS Code. So that is it for this first session. Hopefully the next session we will work on creating our project and our app, then we look at the structure of Django.